get some work done at the gym. All that traffic. Time to do what a bike could do. Time for some lane splitting action. Now, in terms of lane splitting, I'm not very crazy. The bike's a little slightly bigger than the average street bike. The good thing is, when I first got my bike, I felt real comfortable on it, like right away. But as soon as I got it home, I started taking it on the streets. Probably went like a few blocks out. Rode it probably 4 or 5 times around like a 10 block radius ish. And it was only side streets and residential areas. On my second day riding, I ended up riding it, took it on the main bigger streets right there. Felt a little different, but still felt pretty safe on it. And on my third day of riding, I just said, F it. Took it all the way to work, all the way back on the freeway. I think at that point I wasn't really lane splitting or anything. And then on my 4th day I started lane splitting. So I don't know, I want to say that I got fairly comfortable on my bike. Now the thing is, when I lane split like right here, I'm usually very cautious because they got the it's where I don't trust them. I mean, they pass over regardless on through this line here. They'll pass through here, but I feel a little safer taking that lane split a little faster for the most part. But you still gotta keep vigilant and still assume that they could pop out of nowhere. Now this is why I like riding motorcycles, or why a lot of people like motorcycles. I think it's like goodbye traffic. I don't know, I like it when it gets like this, because then you don't feel quite as rushed. Whereas if it's completely fast traffic and you're on the carpool lane, then they push you a little more. And I'm comfortable going higher speeds on it, but I don't like being pushed. But if there's cars behind me, then I just don't like the little push that they start giving. Then they just assume that you're on a motorcycle and you like to go fast. Or at least if it's not a cruiser, they seem to tend to push you to ride a little faster. And so if you're on a street bike, they'll just push you. Cars seem to have a little respect or fear of the cruiser riders like Harleys because if they try to push them, then I don't know, I think they're a little bit intimidated by them, so they probably won't push you as much if you ride on a cruiser. At least that's my opinion. I don't know if it's true or not. You guys could leave a comment down in the comments below if you actually do ride cruiser, or if you're a avid motorcyclist and let's say you have both types of cruiser and or all types of them. Let me know. Do you feel the difference of how people treat you while you're on the road? Do they push you a little more when you're on a street bike, or do they push you the same regardless? Personally, when I'm on a bike, I like to keep a nice long gap in the front. Mainly because when you're riding and it's clumped up like this, all of a sudden there could be like some debris in the road, and you know, if you're in a car, you either swerve out of the way real quick or you hit it, and it's not going to do as much of an issue. But if you're on a motorcycle, you can swerve out of the way, but if you don't and you hit it straight on, you're more likely to get into an accident there. I did notice that when I did start driving in my motorcycle, I started driving a lot more cautious in my car, just to make up for stupid decisions that people make. You just become more aware of it when you're on two wheels. Gotta be careful on this section there, because some curved road lane split. This is probably one of the few areas that I lane split in a curved area, just because it's wide enough. Still gotta be cautious, and it closes up right here, so let this car pass first, because I seldom like to get in front of them. Also, I didn't mention in my first vid, but another person actually was watching. For those of you who are interested in starting to get a bike or so, whether you're younger or older or whatever, one guy that I actually watched quite a bit is from across the pond. He goes by the YouTube name of Roadcraft Nottingham. I think his name is Russ, though. So I actually watched a lot of Roadcraft Nottingham before I got my bike. He does a lot of good instructional videos. He is, I believe, a motorcycle instructor in the UK. And despite the fact that they switch the sides on the roads, he does give a lot of good tips there. And this guy's like really wide. Whew. Thank you, Beast. Thank you. Like right here, a perfect example. You can't always trust them to stay in their lane if it's a thing. Sometimes I wonder why those wide trucks get on. I mean, I understand everyone wants to go, but sometimes I feel these cars are way too big for the lane. And another thing about lane splitting, I normally don't care to rev bomb too much, because that gives a little bit of a agitation to them. I just try to keep my engine in on a lower gear for longer, just to kind of give it a little bit of noise. But I don't really care to rev bomb too much there, because then they get startled or they get mad, and it's a little less confrontational, a lot much more safer. Much more safer. Much. Why am I saying much? You're way too big, dude. I don't trust this. Then you gotta keep an eye out for people that try to lock you in there. Thank you. Thank you. And it's always nice to give thanks there. That way you can show them that not all motorcyclists are jerks. Show a little gratefulness and they might treat you a little better. We're people too. We want to get home to our families. I think we deserve that much. When it's traffic like this, I always like to try and keep it at around 40 miles when I'm lane splitting there. Because at that point, the most minuscule movement that the cars can make, it starts to go exponentially. I'll let you pass if someone opens up, but I won't get in front of you. Go ahead. I think he's giving you some room. Now I do got a small little question for you guys, whether you're a motorcyclist or not. What do you guys feel about the those low emission vehicles getting to ride in the carpool lane? I mean for the most part you can pass through them as a motorcyclist, but got a Psycho Bro right here. For the most part you could just pass through the splitting and everything. But it still backs up the carpool lane a hell of more than... I mean, the whole point of the carpool lane was initially to get more people on the road with less drivers. Essentially cutting the cars down. But now you got those low emission vehicles and they're getting their stickers saying, oh, you don't have to have a passenger. It's just one person, and you should be able to go on the... I know it could sound a little hypocritical coming from a motorcyclist. It's like, oh, motorcyclists only have one passenger, but hey, we have the ability to lane split. We don't increase the traffic there, at least in here in California anyways. Anyways, let me know what you think about those HE vehicles, those low emission vehicles giving the privilege of riding in the carpool lane with a single passenger. I don't even remember a law being passed or so saying, oh yeah, if you have an HOV sticker or whatever, it's okay. You can make traffic that much worse just because you got an electric vehicle. Now, understandably so. I'm sure that's how they get their miles per gallon, just because they could keep going a little further, but it defeats the purpose of the carpool lane. Anyways, I'm about to get into the gym now. I think I'm gonna end my video right here. Bye.